Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the school committee to order on October 4th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to read the Douglas Mission Statement for the public schools. The Douglas Public Schools offer a diverse learning experience that meet the academic, social, physical, and emotional needs of all of our students. We provide a safe, supported, and challenging learning environment in which students may achieve academic success and personal growth. Decisions are made in the best interest of our students. And I know that we have a student representative here tonight, Molly Stitchfield. Did I say your name right?
You did.
You can come on up. Thank you so much for coming in.
Of course, thank you for having me. All right, also to let you know, I'm a senior, so I'll be discussing the first month of school for the year 2023-2024. We'll get started with the overall climate of the first month of school. As always, Douglas promotes safety as it is a priority with our learning environment. I describe this school as incredibly friendly and welcoming, allowing a diverse group of students to learn together. The mission statement for the district is sustained well, as challenging learning environments are developed varying to meet student needs. During the first month of school, an advisory has been implemented 1 to 2 times per week in order to prepare students for college applications, career readiness, and the future of student lives overall after high school. It's been an excellent help in preparing for such times in students' lives, ensuring that we're able to learn the ins and outs of life as best we can. Advisory also serves as a period to focus on our emotional health, which is incredibly resourceful, especially when seniors like myself are finalizing our education and careers beyond high school. We're also able to experience 2 fairs in September. Firstly, we hosted a club fair where students from each club promoted their activity, encouraging students from all grades to join. These activities are, but not limited to, drama club, art club, chorus, band, and DECA. Following this, representatives from various colleges attended the college fair at Douglas High School, introducing students to some of the many opportunities they can experience after for college. Students were able to learn about these colleges or learn about post-high school careers if they did not wish to attend. This college fair was a fantastic opportunity for any students to learn about colleges they're interested in, as well as majors they could possibly pursue. Finally, Douglas has started up with its fall season sports. As of recently, both boys and girls soccer won their recent matches. The golf and girls volleyball performed well, with girls volleyball taking the win against Hopedale. There were also several games that happened last week, leading up to homecoming Saturday night. Girls volleyball had a close match against Sutton, and the Sutton Douglas football team took the win with a score of 43-12. There are several more games that are scheduled for this week, and some actually have incorporated projects that are made by seniors. And that's all I have for you today.
So much, Molly. Molly, what are your career aspirations after you graduate high school?
I'd like to go into graphic design.
Sweet. What colleges do you think you're applying to?
There's a couple in New York and Rhode Island that I really like.
Sweet. Awesome.
Good luck.
Thank you so much for coming in. Is anybody here for public comment? Seeing as there is none, we're going to move over to any old new business we need to discuss, sir.
Old business.
Moving on to new business and the superintendent's report, please.
We're going to start with our school improvement plans for the year. We'll have the 4 principals come up. Before we dive into it, I want to just present some highlights. Last year, we set some pretty lofty goals. We really focused in on MTSS. We focused in on all means all. And we focused in on really looking at data to drive change and improve instruction. And we talked about STAR data last year, and when we presented the STAR data, I said it's just one benchmark assessment, and kids and teachers aren't defined by one test. I'm going to highlight some of the accountability data that came out about 2 weeks ago from DESE, just to kind of show how when you set goals and you set them high, people can attain them and achieve them, and I'm really proud of what we have here. When we present in 2 weeks some of the MCAS data, principals will dive deeper into this. So what the accountability did is they grouped the schools into 3 through 8, and they did high school. So I'm presenting the 3 through 8 data. Principals will present for their schools in 2 weeks. And what they did is they set a target for FY23 of your 22 scores. And you could either exceed your target meet your target, approach your target, or be below your target. So I'm going to highlight a lot of the places where we met and exceeded our target. So for grades 3 through 8 collectively, our math met our target for achievement. So we met the target for the MCAS scores. In 3 through 8 for math, we met our target for growth percentile. In 3 through 8, we exceeded our target for attendance. We had more kids coming to school than we had the previous year, exceeding the target. The state also classifies the kids as lowest performing. What they did is they took the lowest 25% the year before and marked those kids as lowest performing. So in 3 through 8 for math, lowest performing students, we exceeded the target for achievement. For 3 through 8 ELA, for lowest performing students, we met the target for growth. For 3 through 8 math, lowest performing, we met the target for growth. And for 3 through 8 lowest performing for attendance, we exceeded the target for growth. So again, a testament to the hard work of teachers inside the classrooms and the students who worked with teachers to meet those goals. But it also shows what happens with the leadership team when we set those goals and we set them high. I'm excited to see what happens this year as we went a little bit higher where we're going. Not leaving the high school out, Mr. Ringett. The high school for graduation rate exceeded their goal. This one sounds funny. For our dropout rate, we exceeded the target, which means we declined, not
Right,
increased.
that's goodness, right?
And then finally, for high school advanced coursework completion, number of advanced courses a student takes, we met our target. So a lot of great, awesome things here. And again, just to highlight the importance of having goals, having lofty goals. We set them last year, and we saw a lot of great things here. Is there still work to do? Absolutely. Is this just one snapshot in time? Yes, it is. Is there so much more that makes up a student? 100%. But I was really proud of this, and we'll dive a little bit more into it next year. I'm going to have the principals come up and talk a little bit about their 23-24 school improvement plans. Ultimately, when you look, I think with the exception of Mr. Ringett, when you look at their school improvement plans, it is a carbon copy of their goals, which is making sure that with MTSS, it's making sure we have the SEL inside the schools, and it's making sure that we are at 100% of kids at or above benchmark. Rob, I think you had one. Yeah, the new guy wanted to do a different one, so go ahead.
Okay, I'm not sure if I can be projected into the mic. You're good. I'm good? Okay, thank you. Okay, so in diving into the high school improvement plan, break it down, our first part of our plan deals with our academic excellence goal. What we're looking to do is we're looking to increase student achievement by increasing student exposure to standardized test questions. That's kind of where it all blankets and starts, okay? Some of our objectives are including, we're going to use data to inform instruction, our intervention, and our remediation efforts. The goal, obviously, is for 100% of students to be exposed to these types of questions and platforms. Our grades 9 and 10 are going to focus on MCAS. Grades 11 and 12 will use other benchmarks such as AP, SAT, ACT, ASVAB, Seal of Biliteracy, so on and so forth. So it is broken down by grade for us. The objective here is for teachers to use released questions and tests to supplement their instruction. It's available online. There's no reason not to. Okay. Some of our action steps to go along with this, through common planning time, through some of their professional development. Our goal is to first release the data to the teachers. We're going to create spiral assessments. We're going to create our exit tickets, our warm-ups. All that stuff is going to start to embed these into our regular instruction. So it becomes a normal part of instruction, a normal part of our curriculum. Doing all of that will hopefully allow us to see a nice boost across the board in all of our benchmark scoring.
Can I ask a question? Or do you want me to wait? I'll wait.
Go ahead and ask.
So I'm just wondering is, like, it sounds like there's a lot of emphasis being put on MCAS, like standardized test questions. And, you know, is that like, you know, are we then incorporating some teaching to the test type of stuff? You know, how are we making sure we're not doing that and we're
Correct.
giving a full rounded understanding of the concepts that they're learning as well?
Correct. That kind of ties into my next piece. However.
It was just too pressing to.
But, so your question's a touch early, but at the same time, I'll address it. So, right now, we're a public school district. The state sets standards for us to teach. We are tested on those standards through the MCAS for grades 9 and 10. It is what it is. It's our requirement, it's our job to make sure our students are ready to take that exam so they can receive a qualifying score to achieve a graduation, all right? We want them to graduate. We want 100% of our students to graduate. I don't want anybody being left behind. I can't, that would be an ill-conceived motion on my part. Because of that, we now go into my second goal, all right, which kind of puts us into a universal design of learning, all right? That universal design of learning is our MTSS Tier 1. It kind of pushes us into what are we doing to help these students kind of learn in a universal way. So, my page. So, with that being said, right now, I know that we are working on a universal design of learning. We are working through conducting our professional development in order to identify places where we can help our students in this. So, we're communicating our UDL strategies. I know I can't speak for the other schools. I know at the high school, I've already started conducting universal design of learning walks. So as an administration, we're walking around in classrooms. Teachers have been made aware as to some of the look-fors that we're looking for. Just a lot of the UDL stuff is good, just good teaching. So we're looking for these strategies in classrooms. We're complimenting teachers on the strategies we do see. And those strategies, in order to make it true UDL, they're reaching every student. They're reaching every student, teaching the standards that are set forth by the state. That ends up, yes, translating to learning the standards. The students are being assessed on the standards. So when the students receive this cumulative test in March or May, ELA, or June, ELA, math, and science, nothing's a surprise. That's the idea. We want nothing to be a surprise. Nobody likes surprises. Students don't like surprises. I don't want them to sit down for these exams and be surprised on anything. So that's kind of the path we're taking on this.
So it's a piece of it.
Correct.
Okay.
Just a piece. Yep. Ultimately, we're working on teaching all students on this Tier 1 MTSS piece for UDL. So what we're doing there is we're providing professional development. We are, I believe, on Friday, we're looking at the barriers that teachers might face as far as universal design of learning kind of works. So how preemptive are they? That's kind of what we're looking at, pre-planning their lessons. Oh, last year I taught this, this year I'm teaching this, but I also noticed that Johnny and Susie had difficulty here and there. Let's make it more accessible to Johnny and Susie. Potential barriers that we might hit, that's going to be our next focus on this. So
like for somebody that's watching at home that doesn't know what universal design for learning is, that's more of, I don't want to say open-ended, but more, there's more adaptability to how the student can learn, and it's not necessarily just answer this question this way. They can demonstrate knowledge in different ways.
100%. That's actually part of it. It's engagement, it's reflective practices, it's multiple modals of presentation by the student to present their understanding of that learning. That is essentially what it covers. But yes, it allows for that variation inside that umbrella, which is really nice. So if a student has a difficulty writing an essay, maybe they could perform their thoughts. Maybe they could create a video for their thoughts. Maybe things along those lines. At least that's what I've seen in the past as just a minor adjustment for how students, will present their material, their final products on this.
No, thank you.
Can I ask a question for like the professional development piece? Because for some of the teachers, I know this will be different from the standard practice of what we've done. When are we expecting to do professional development?
I'm sorry, there was a cough in there.
When are we expecting to do the professional development for the staff?
So we have scheduled professional development days throughout the school year.
Okay.
We're going to hit each one of those each month. Just so this month we're doing again Friday full day PD for staff. So we're going to touch upon the UDL strategies of reducing those barriers that students might face, which is a very reflective practice, if you will. We're working on a nice little template that teachers can see and follow. It's a broad spectrum of things that
Absolutely.
they have to kind of look at.
Yep.
And then,
We knew.
yeah. So to really narrow it down for the viewers at home, it would be very difficult to do that. But if I can just say, I'm going to repeat myself again. A lot of it is reflective practice.
Yep.
But even for our new teachers, sometimes they don't have a lot to reflect
Correct.
on. So they get to learn from the veterans that they're working with, and they get to learn maybe some things that they would normally miss if they were planning a lesson first time through. Just say, I'm going to plan a lesson on square roots, and maybe a student's never seen a square root, or maybe a student's never seen how to actually raise a number to a power. Potential barriers that they might face. Maybe we reference something that a student has no idea what it is. Imagine putting in a word problem that a student goes to a payphone. First question, what's a payphone? So it's those types of barriers of understanding what they're actually looking at, what are they facing. So, yeah. So that's kind of where we're going with it in the more immediate future. In future, we will go through other little avenues of universal design and learning, just so teachers get a complete, comprehensive feel of what it's all about, okay, and how to engage students and how to have them do all that stuff. It really comes down to good teaching practices. All right.
We're good, thank you.
Okay. So the one place where I kind of vary off of the reservation here, for lack of a better term, is under engagement with the community. So one of the things I noticed early on here in this district is that our student attendance isn't exactly where we would like it to be. We would like student attendance to be a little bit higher. So the Department of Education, they determine chronic absenteeism as missing 10% or more of schooling. We obviously have our attendance policies in place to help reduce that. However, no matter what type of absence it is, excused, unexcused, the state still looks at that as an absence. The state doesn't care whether it's excused or unexcused, whether the district excuses it or doesn't excuse it. They just look at how many times has the kid been out. Once that student reaches that 10% threshold, they are now chronically absent, okay? So we're gonna work on better engagement with the students, better engagement with families. We're gonna work on seeing what we can do, if it's a mental health issue, if it's a motivational issue, if it's a family issue, how can we help those families have their students be present here at the high school? So that is actually kind of where we're going to go with that. I'm sure through more meetings, you'll hear me speak of attendance and being able to get students here. But it is one of my focus points this year. In my weekly blog, I've already put it out very consistently that students do need to be in school. It's one of those places where the Department of Ed does deduct points for the school, and I'd like to reduce that, so.
In terms of the elementary, primary, and middle, I presented my goals, principals presented their goals a couple weeks ago, which is identical, and their school improvement plans are identical to what their goals are. Rob had a little bit of a variation, so if the committee has questions for the three principals or for Rob.
I just have a follow-up for Rob, and I'm sure, Rob, you know me, and you probably know what question's coming. CRA resources to families where necessary, that is the last resort that we're using as a district, correct?
That is 100% a last resort for the district, yes. A CRA at the high school level looks, I'm not going to say it looks a little different than the other schools, but there's an age cap on it. It's for anyone under the age of 16. But in order to get to that point, there would have to be multiple meetings. There would have to be an attendance intervention plan put in place. There would have to be multiple violations on top of that in order for us to ever venture down that road. It is 100% a last resort as a CRA.
Because we know the statistics on children that have CRAs and ongoing court involvement.
100%, yes.
Any other questions?
Cindy?
I have one other goal that I added.
Oh, okay.
I did.
I missed it, I'm sorry.
She's our overachiever. It's going to be math? Is it math or English?
But we had such success with our partnership with first grade and fifth grade.
Yeah.
That we are creating a partnership with kindergarten and sixth grader students. So we are developing a plan for that. So they might do a meet and greet, read a story to the kindergartners. You know, we'll start small, maybe 4 times during the year. So we're just trying to work out the kinks, what time and, you know, how often and things like that. How will it work? Because they will have to come to us. By the time we get kindergartners over there, the time to be up. So we're going to try that this year. So I would add that to my school improvement plan.
That's awesome.
That sounds wonderful. Like to see that collaboration. It's good. And the kids look forward to it, right?
You do.
It's one of those, you know.
We do.
So that's a huge success. Win-win.
Anything else for them? Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
And then finally, again, just a little bit of a repeat, just like I've done for the past few years, the blueprint for student success is, again, the district school improvement plan, and it's just our model of what we are doing to make sure that we are moving forward. So the blueprint is aligned to my goals, is aligned to the my evaluation, and is also aligned to the principal's goals. So again, just for the people watching at home, we have 5 improvement priority areas: academic excellence, community partnerships, well-being of all, local and global citizenship, and growth mindset. And then each of my goals and each of the standards in my evaluation fit in with this blueprint. So again, going through that vertical alignment so that we're all going in the same direction. If anyone says, where are we going, what are we doing, what do we prioritize, you can look at the blueprints, you can look at our goals, you can look at our school improvement plans, and they're all, with a couple little variations, they're all pretty much 90% the same.
Any questions?
And that's all I have for my report. I have 2 things for topics not anticipated, which when we get down to that point, I'll add it there.
So I forgot to ask how homecoming was. If you want to come back up and talk, I forgot to.
Yes, I'll come back up and talk about homecoming. Homecoming actually went off really well. The weather was very cooperative with us, which I was very thankful for because I wore all my wet clothes in case I was soaked for the rain that was supposed to come. But we were very grateful for that. The boosters were able to set up their tents and be able to, make some money, which was nice. They brought in a lot of pizza for everybody. Soccer games went really well. Boys tied 1-1. Girls, I think, did lose 3-1, but they played real hard. They put on a really good show for the Douglas town. Then we moseyed on over to the football game where it was a good change of pace, where the game was less competitive back and forth, and the football team really showed up for that game. The students were very well behaved. Volleyball game the night before was excellent. Great participation, great crowd participation. Some of the cheering that went on in the crowd was amazing. Very student-led. Mrs. Sokol, our athletic director, also got into the mix with leading some of those chants and cheers. Our dance was great, went off without a hitch. The kids were all very happy, very excited to be able to dress up, come out and really, show off their moves. And yeah, it was really just a great school spirit centered week leading up and weekend. I can't thank the students and the staff that were involved enough due to the fact that really it came down to them just trying to enjoy what they could enjoy, because that's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much for coming and telling us. Thanks. All right, moving on to the school committee and subcommittee report.
Sure. So warrant 10 SCH 24 and 10 SCHL 24. Total of 8 batches, a total dollar amount of $56,532.02. Warrant 12 SCH 24 and 12 SCHL 24. Total of 17 batches and a total dollar amount of $324,944.11, and everything looked fantastic. No concerns.
Moving on to the consent agenda, the review of the September 20th meeting minutes.
See anything?
If nobody has any issue, we'd looking for a motion.
I'll move to approve the school committee meeting notes for September 2023.
Motion made by Beth, seconded by?
Second.
Seconded by Monique. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Now to the school year non-union personal days.
Yeah, I know.
That's a tongue twister.
So this is something that Paul and I have been discussing for a little while. Just as a reminder, I know that we have been working for some time trying to get the non-union employee handbook completely revamped, and unfortunately, we have not been able to do this, to do that. But there was one thing that did stand out to us that we wanted to address in the interim, because it just seemed inequitable.
Yep.
So for the school year, principal secretarial staff, at this time, they receive only 1 personal day, and the full year principal secretarial staff receive 3. In order to be more equitable, we're recommending that the school year secretarial staff receive 2 personal days per school year. There's no financial impact to this change, but just in the interim, we'll be reviewing the whole entire employee handbook, but
Is this 2 total or 2 additional?
2 total. 2 total, yes.
Going from 1 to 2.
Yep, from 1 to 2, yes. In a school year, just a school year.
I move to approve that the school year secretarial staff receive 2 personal days total per school year, beginning with the 2023-2024 school year.
Motion made by Monique, seconded by?
Second.
Seconded by Teresa. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Moving on to the school business and operations manager report.
Okay, so I do have for you this evening, trying to keep up with these a little bit better this year, but I do have FY 2024 budgetary transfers number 1, and these 3 transfers were requested by administrators. Does anyone have any questions? No questions on these? Okay.
Any questions?
Do a
Want to make a
motion?
motion? Okay.
Looking for to make a
Right.
motion on the FY '24 budget transfer number 1, dated October 4th.
So moved.
So moved by Pat, seconded by Monique. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Thanks.
I could try to do comedy skits in the middle, I mean, liven things up a little bit. I know this is boring stuff, but yeah. Yeah. Now, the second one, so we have, actually, no more transfers, but I do have FY 2024 reclassifications number 1, and this is to reclass to use up the balance of the ESSER 2 grant from FY '21, which we had to have everything expended by September 30th of 2023.
Yep.
So I'm just cleaning that up.
Anyone have any
And-
questions?
And also Cindy did an amendment for me today so that everything's all copacetic and be closed out and do the final report.
I move to approve the Douglas Public Schools FY '24 reclassification number 1 on October 4th, 2023.
Motion made by Monique, seconded by?
Second.
Second by Teresa. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstained? Thanks.
And the next one I have is FY 2024 reclassification number 2, and we are just moving coordinator position from district-wide to middle school. That's all that is, cleaning that up.
Anyone have any questions? Looking for a motion?
I move to approve the Douglas Public Schools FY 2024 reclassifications number 2 on October 4th, 2023.
Motion made by Teresa, seconded by?
Second.
Second by Monique. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstained?
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have this evening. Trying to keep it light.
Topics not anticipated.
I have 2. So we received an invitation from the Board of Selectmen from Hopedale for October 26th at 7 PM. They're inviting superintendents, business managers, Board of Selectmen, town administrators, and school committee members to discuss the potential of an, BVT's looking to build an addition and put on a new roof for about $1 million, and how that money is going to be then allocated or paid for by sending districts. So the Hopedale Board of Selectmen wants people to get together to have that discussion as to what that looks like. If one member of the school, because this might be interactive and there might be a dialogue, if more than one member of the school committee goes, that's great. I'll just reach out to legal counsel to see if we have to officially post for the meeting.
I think you have to post it for the meeting. I would just err to the side of caution.
Okay, I'll do it.
Because depending on the capacity,
Absolutely.
Post.
I serve, everybody knows, I serve on the finance committee. I am probably, depending on, I could be, but I could preclude myself, but people could look at it as a quorum.
Right, exactly.
I'll post it.
So
And then if we
I'd
have
rather err to
capacity-
the side of caution versus us having to be
Okay.
explaining, but I am planning to go to it.
I will be out, I will not be available that day, but
Okay.
It's on the 26th.
26th
Yes.
Thursday.
Yep,
7
7
o'clock.
PM.
Okay.
Hopedale, yeah.
The Board of Selectmen for Hopedale, that's out on their link on their website, it's a very interesting conversation with Dr. Fitzpatrick.
It's a very nice way of putting it.
So I would recommend that if you're going to attend, you probably want to go there. I think he has the slides. I think those are the slides. He's going to use the same slides again.
Okay.
Was this for the meeting last spring?
No, it was a meeting that took place in August or September.
Okay.
It just took
Recent,
place.
yeah.
It just, very, very
Because
recent.
there was another one that happened, I believe, in the spring between a new member of the Board of Selectmen of Hopedale and Dr. Fitzpatrick. But, okay.
Okay, oh, we'll do that, thank you.
Okay, we'll take a look.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll go and find it, but yeah, I didn't find the one from the spring. I found the one that was just recent, the very recent one. So,
definitely check that out.
And then the last thing, topics not anticipated, very preliminary, but as people know, Mr. DeFonso resigned, and we're starting the search process for a new elementary school principal. Posted it yesterday, what the process looks like. I'll develop over the next few days. We're going to do an interim for the remainder of the school year, and then in February, March of next year, do a full search for the 24-25 school year. But given that we're already a month and a half into the school year, I'd like to do an interim, hopefully someone retired who can come in, who has some experience and do it, and we'll know a little bit more about the process. Posted yesterday, I have 4 candidates already that applied, so going through those resumes and cover letters, but I'll be able to give a fuller update to the committee when we meet again in 2 weeks.
can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why is it we're going with an interim and not actively pursuing a principal?
I don't know if we're going to be able to find a high caliber candidate
Mid-year.
mid-year.
I'm just putting it out there to answer for the folks on Facebook. That's the reason why we are doing it this way, as an interim versus going and doing a full committee search. Plus, most of these people have to break contracts if we do go and pursue. So that's the reason why it would be an interim principal. Just
Good question.
to try to educate the community a little bit better. So
Definitely, thank you.
Thank you.
And just because that person's the interim, if they ended up working out and they wanted to go through the hiring process and stay later, they,
They
But-
could.
there's a potential for that too as well.
Yep, absolutely.
So, anything else?
That's it.
Sweet. So I'm going to add on to that, topics not anticipated. So we were last night at the Board of Selectmen Joint School Committee meeting. Any interested candidates that would like to fill the vacant school committee thing needs to go and fill out an application with the town of Douglas. Is it the secretary, the administrative secretary that's there in Town Hall, Miss Kristen Furno, and fill out the application, but then everybody would come forth on October 17th, which is a Tuesday at 7 o'clock, to come and do like a meet and greet with both boards, the Board of Selectmen, as well as the school committee, and then we would pursue an active vote to figure out who would our next person is going to be on school, to join us on school committee. So, did I misspeak in any way, shape, or form?
You did not.
we'd love to have anybody interested.
Yep. And that's all I have. Anybody, any other seconds before we do a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the Wednesday, October 4th, school committee meeting at 7:38 PM.
Motion made by Beth, seconded by?
Second?
Second by Monique. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining?